Hello, everybody. Welcome to Disabilities Redefined with Dr. Wagner. I am Dr. Truett Wagner, and as always, I am very, very happy you are here. A few weeks ago, we shot a incredibly special episode with Rome Leykin and his dad, Eugene. What we're going to show on this episode is a Q&A that followed a screening of that very episode. We turned our studio into a screening room, and we asked a collection of people here, and that's where we begin. It was a great interview, and if you want to check out that interview, you can right here on our YouTube channel. But for the time being, let's hear what people have to ask Rome and his dad. It was a very, very special night. We hope you enjoy it.
Rome, since you're so well known as such a model of positivity, and the accident when it happened, it was a horrible thing. I'm sure you didn't just bounce right into that positive mindset. What was it like? How long did it take you to get that positive mindset back, and what was the process you went through mentally to get there?
Excellent question. How long did it take me to get to this positive mindset? I think is a very specific answer, in that if you ask somebody who's experienced a traumatic injury that has led to a traumatic brain injury, right? And I was unconscious for, call it a month, and then after that it progressed. So maybe, how long did it take for you to wake up? Maybe it's a month, right? But how long did it take for me to be able to respond and to understand? And now we're maybe talking 8 months or something. But how long did it take me to get into this mindset of, yeah, I can do this? It just took me a step or two. That's honestly what it did. I had the sockets on, stubbies on, jumped out of my chair, took a step, and fell, got right back up. But fallen this much, and it was just like that. And I never looked back since. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I'm not gonna make that. So my question was, you guys are saying that ever since this accident, it has brought you guys more together. Was it always like that, or in what ways is it that this accident and the after cause led for you guys to be more together, if that makes sense?
It does.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, you do first, and I'll give you my perspective. Go.
Okay. So at first, and I don't necessarily remember this firsthand, but Dave told me that I was a huge pain in the you-know-what. I was liable to temper tantrums, flying off. It was really hard, and I didn't make it any easier on my family. So their strength through that is outrageous, But I think, to answer your question, what has brought us, it's not necessarily me going through that, because I don't know that I went through that. I'm just assuming and believing that they're true. I honestly don't remember that black spots in my memory for that. But I think from a certain moment going forward, and all of the adaptive sports that we can do together has really brought us closer. Oh, hey, let's do this together, or can you take me here? How about we try this together? Because honestly, I don't know anybody there other than you. So to get to that state, that has been the rock that I think that the foundation that this has been built on, this relationship has been built on.
Yeah, so I don't know if we were closer than, normal parents, children type of, scenario. But with the trauma, right, and especially with the brain injury type of trauma, from what I have observed, what happens is that there is a huge drop first, initially, right? It's like really falling off a cliff and hitting what you think is the rock bottom, but then the decline continues, right? Because like Rome was saying, he was out of it for a month, then he woke up and he didn't understand what happened. So it took first year to just get out of the hospitals of all kinds and rehab centers, and then probably another year at home to start recovering, right? And those were dark days. So it goes like that, and then the recovery starts, right? And that's where the family comes in and does the best everybody can do, and then you see things starting to turn to the better, right? You see some laughter, you see jokes, you see hope, you see planning for the next day, next week, next month, next year, right? It's much easier at that stage to get together because you are doing something positive. Up until that point, it's mostly survival mode, right? I think we're, some people say strong enough. I think we were lucky to some extent, right, that we kind of got through this and retained our family, right? Not everybody is so lucky. But then doing things together, like Rome was saying, right? And it's not just athletic activities, it's also things we do together around the house and, taxes. Don't forget about taxes, by the way.
And we did do that
We
together.
did do that together, right? So those things together. After having experienced the trauma of this sort, they are all very, very meaningful. Right, little things, they mean a lot. So, yeah, it's been good lately.
Hello.
Hey,
So one of the things that you said is that you want people to understand the challenges a little bit more. So can you tell us or tell everybody what you want them to know about the challenges and maybe some of those barriers? But on the flip side, what are some of the supports that help you through those challenges as well?
got you. Thank you. Good question. So the challenges and what helps me overcome them?
Yeah.
So there have been big challenges, little challenges. I can go on and on, right? But I think what's important is what I learned about any challenge specifically that can be applied, I think, at any circumstance for any challenge is in order to conquer that challenge, or in order to find the solution, is breaking it down to simple things, and then break it even more down. And the example I can give is I remember being asked to walk to the bathroom, and holy cow. That was steps upon steps about a million different things. No way, forget it, was I even gonna think about attempting that. So eventually, quickly enough, it was just make one step. Just do one baby step. That's it. And baby steps are fast enough, because with enough baby steps accumulated, we achieve and we make leaps and bounds. And those baby steps aren't baby steps anymore. Oh my God. Your nose isn't as big as mine, sorry.
Hi, Rome. First, I wanted to make a comment that I love the interview. What really resonated with me was the whole concept of secondary inspiration. Love that. For my question, it's kind of broad. You can choose to answer whatever aspect of it resonates with you. But I heard earlier you've been traveling a lot, so that got me thinking. Could you speak about American cultural perceptions and misconceptions about adaptive persons and any issues you might have encountered in terms of accessibility or the way people approach you if they say anything ignorant, maybe not on purpose, and how that compares to experiences you've had abroad. You can pick any countries that stand out. Thank you.
Got you. Thank you. Good question. Okay, the big example that I can think of is last year I was going to Berlin for the Berlin Marathon, and on the way there it wasn't a direct flight. We had stopped in Turkey first, and apparently not the airline, but it was the person at the airport, and I had approached them. It was me. And soon a few other of my friends were coming. One was in a wheelchair, the other two weren't. But I got there, I'm like, hey, buddy, I have another wheelchair coming in too, and yada, 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 as if it was an American airline, and that's where I noticed the difference, where he goes, no, you're going to wait till we're ready. And I mean, I just saw all these non-adaptive people just walk into the plane while I'm sitting there. And we don't necessarily get that kind of preferential treatment in other countries, but, such is life. Being adaptive doesn't, I heard this recently, being adaptive doesn't grant me the ability to be can I curse?
Yes.
Being adaptive doesn't let me be an asshole. It doesn't give me the right to be one.
Good point.
We have one more. One more time for one more.
Rome and your father. I'm Anne Marie, and I just wanted to, it's very moving to me. I have a friend that, had an accident and really changed her life. She's in a wheelchair and everything. I wanted to know from your perspective, at what point did you realize that sometimes I feel like it becomes your mission, like you were maybe put on the planet. I know it sounds weird to have this happen so that you could give the world something, which you seem to do. So at one point, did you figure out that this might be your mission, or this is part of your purpose on the planet because of what happened to you, to be able to help other people?
When did I realize I was put in this position to inspire? It's probably the same answer I would give if you asked how old I am, but the reasoning behind it is actually probably the same. Probably the day that I woke up and realized that, not woke up because it took me a little bit to form a sentence, but a little bit after that, and I realized, it's not about me anymore. I physically figured, I knew that I can do this physically. Now it's about letting other people know that they can too. And it was actually, no, you know what? I'd say it was maybe a year or two. I tried for a year or two to code, to still be a web developer, and then blurry vision, headaches. Okay, can't be a web developer. Okay, let's go inspire. It felt right. It still feels right to, not necessarily maybe inspire the people who are there, but maybe that person across the street who's not even, what? Look at that guy. Something like that, Does that kind of answer your question? I think that was really good.
Definitely. And I wondered for your father, because it changes your mission and your purpose on the planet.
Yeah, I don't know. I still haven't figured it out, right? I'm trying to support Rome the best I can. But I want to answer the question that probably hasn't been asked, but I think it might be relevant, right? At which point do you feel that things are going to be okay in the end, all right? And looking back, I think the turning point there was when he first was able to joke about not having legs, right? And laugh, and it was something simple like, okay, it's cold, but at least my feet are not gonna yield. Something along those lines, all right? But I think that was the turning point. And as far as inspiring others, right, it's a good purpose. And I think from the outside, looking at Rome, I think whenever he saw people responding, because that really drives this. And the same for me. Whenever I can talk to someone who has experienced a similar trauma, and I see people kind of getting something out of it, maybe some hope, or maybe some support, or maybe just understanding that you're not the only person in this world who's lived through something like this, it feels good.
I'm going to ask one more quick question. You two are obviously very charismatic, cool, hip, and you do like being in front of the camera. You both do. The final question is a very superficial one and materialistic one. Would you do a reality show?
Yes.
Yes.
Sign us up. Thank you all so much. Thank you, really. You're welcome. This is so nice.